Yo, what's going on, everyone? Get ready, lock in, stay tuned, get comfy, grab your snack, grab your drink, because Black and More is going to interview Andrea Marsili of MarsLit Games to talk about his gaming past, his first game, his favorite games, and all about Altheia, the Wrath of Aferi. All that and more in the next Power Hour podcast episode of the
Streamcast.
Woo! All right. Thank you so much, Andrea, for joining me. How are you doing, bro?
Fine. Super tired, but fine. Yes, doing fine.
Of course, there's been a lot of hard work on your upcoming project, which we finally have a date on. Why don't you do a little bit of an intro? Tell the people about who you are and what you do.
So I'm Andrea, obviously, and I'm half of MarsLit. It's basically just me and my brother working, currently working on Altheia for the past 3.5 years, something like that. It was a crazy hell of a journey. We are finally going towards the end, releasing next month, finally. And there's really nothing more to say because I'm the developer part. My brother is doing everything graphic. I can do anything that is even remotely artistic. So yes, basically this is all. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty more to say, and your
Yeah.
game will be doing the talking because I've seen it. It's very beautiful. It's what triggered me to introduce myself to you and reach out in the first place. That and the fact that I figured out that you are Black Italian developers is just something that we haven't really had on the channel before. Got me very excited to talk to you and get you on this platform. So I want to thank you first of all for being so gracious with your time, especially this close to releasing, which I believe you said was next month.
Yeah, next month, 21st.
21st of August on Steam for
Yeah.
all you PC players out there, and GOG.com, I believe.
Yeah. Go.com. 3 days before my birthday, so let's hope for the best.
Okay. I like this. So when is the big day?
My big day,
Yes, your
uh,
birthday.
20, 24 August. It's my
Okay.
birthday, so I'm going to be 34.
All
Born
right.
in 1991,
Awesome.
and there are 3 years between me and my brother, so we literally grew up together.
That's very cute. That's the same gap between me and my younger
Yeah,
brother. So
cool,
yeah, I
cool.
get it. Like growing up together, and it would be the perfect birthday gift, wouldn't it, for everyone here to just wish list and buy your game on
Yeah,
release week. So
yeah,
I
absolutely. Wish
can't
list.
wait. Yeah, make sure to wish list the hell out of that. I'm gonna find the link and put it in the chat for you all to wish list, whether that's on Steam, and I think I've seen it previewed on Xbox as well. So
Yeah.
make sure you check that out. But before that, let's get into you, Andrea. What was your first ever video game and console?
Oh, so my very first video game is probably a bootleg version of Mario. This bootleg console, like SNES-like console. So probably this is my actually first game. Nintendo is not going to be super cool about it, but yes, it was a bootleg version of probably Super Mario for NES. Yeah, something like that. But my actual first console is probably the PS1, so the let's go slim version of the first PlayStation, and with Spyro 2.
Mm-hmm.
We played. I literally remember the first time I boot the first PlayStation, and playing Spyro for basically the whole day on a 17-inch, 15-inch television, something like that. Being this close to the TV for basically the whole day, and I recently even played the remake, Spyro. And yeah, I remember like all of it, literally all of it.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very cool. I first of all, I think that is not necessarily common, but I think I've heard quite a lot of people playing through bootleg versions of Mario. I definitely remember an answer of like 100 versions of Mario. So I think that's a very common thread in a lot of gamers' lives, especially us who were like born in the 90s. So
Yeah,
it's very cool.
it's not very
Spyro is a
common.
shout.
Super common.
One of the
Yeah,
goats of the PS1 era, and the remake very much lived up to the hype, wouldn't you
yeah,
say?
absolutely. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was super well made. Super well made. Really captured the essence of the Spyro, you know. So yeah, a lot of good memories, and also the Game Boy, as every single human being that grew up in the 90s, you know, were
Yeah.
Game Boy with Pokemon, obviously, you know. Oh, I still
Yeah.
have my first. Maybe I have it. Let me. No, I don't know. I don't know where it is, but somewhere, yeah, because I recently changed the battery because they go bad, you know. So I recently
Yes.
changed the battery of Pokemon Blue. So yes, my very first Pokemon game, and I want to replay it. You know, change the screen of my Game Boy, old Game Boy, and with an IPS screen, and doing all of this and
Of
playing it again.
course.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
that makes
some nostalgia. Sometimes you know you need it.
yeah. I'm very much going through a similar thing myself of recollecting old video games and consoles.
Uh,
So like PS2, the PS1, the Dreamcast. I'm on the hunt for a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
So
I
I
kept
very
all
much
of
feel that.
them, so I have
Oh,
all my old phones. I never sold them.
so
I
smart.
so yeah, yeah, because I knew that you know now are like crazy expensive,
Yeah,
crazy expensive. Everything is crazy expensive. Makes no sense.
yeah. Everything's
Yeah,
expensive, and the world is very much going in the digital uh
yeah, everything
avenue.
digital.
And
Mhm.
I don't know, there's something about physical media, whether it's a cartridge or a CD. I like that.
Yeah,
There's very much something special in that.
I like I'm super. I like digital media, but you know, a lot of physical media today are just licensed to digital media. You know, they're
Yeah.
not actually physical media. So, uh, I mean, I try to buy physical when I can. Even, I mean, I use just my Steam Deck and Bazaar. I have a home PC with Bazaar, you know,
Mhm.
and I so I'm just full digital. But even if I buy something digital, I 99% of the time I also buy physical just to have it on my shelf, you know.
Of course, I hear
So
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I I mean, I won't lie. It's very convenient to have digital games. Like,
For
you
sure,
don't have
but
to
it's
get up.
not
You can,
actually
yeah.
yours. That's the problem, you know.
Yeah, that's my issue. Like,
Yeah.
there are some consoles and some games that have little T's and C's where you don't
Mm,
technically own your game, which I
yeah.
think is bull crap. Oh, YouTube allows us to swear now. It's bullshit. So,
Right. Yeah, like
um,
you
yeah,
know what happened with the PSP. I don't know PSP. I don't know what was that they closed the digital store. So you had even Nintendo with the 3DS. You had to download everything that you had bought
yeah,
because they are not actually yours. It's not nice. So I basically only trust Steam for now. It's the only digital storefront that I actually trust because I don't really like how you know Sony or Nintendo are handling their digital things. But you know, things I feel like things will be different for the future because everything will be digital, like it or not. Everything
mm,
will be digital. So I think and I hope they will handle things different in the near future. I hope.
yeah. I hope
It's just you
so.
know, I hope so.
Yeah,
So don't really
yeah.
trust big company, but yes, I hope.
Yeah, and to be fair, and it's not on us to figure that out. It's on
Yeah,
these
no,
multi-million, billion-pound companies to figure
no.
out and preserve. Um, but if we go from the PS1 era, from Spyro, one of the big three, I would say franchises for kids in that
Yeah.
era. What are your 5 favorite video games from any era?
Or any era. So,
Mhm.
Persona series for sure. Like the fifth one probably is,
Okay.
and the third one are my two favorite one. Also, the Jack series, Jack 2. It's one of
Okay.
my favorite games ever. I have beautiful memories with it. And The Last of Us, the second one, the
Oh
one a
wow.
lot of people are angry about, but the second
Yeah.
one. And we are three,
Mhm.
two left. Oh, the Zelda series, like all of them.
The what series? Sorry.
Zelda series, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
Twilight Princess is one of my favorite one, together with Wind
Of course.
Waker. For the GameCube, probably my favorite console ever.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. Okay.
and also the last one, what could be? Maybe I don't know, the fifth one. What could be like Pokemon series, but the old one, the new one, not really. Like the one on Switch didn't really work for me.
Okay. I
No.
mean, that's a solid top five list.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean there are
yeah,
a
no,
lot more, but if I need to choose,
yeah. It's like asking a parent who their favorite child is. It's a bit of a
yeah,
sticky one sometimes, you know.
yeah. I don't
But
want them to
I,
tell you,
mhm.
but they know it.
Yeah,
Which one is
yeah,
your
in the back,
favorite?
yeah, they know, yeah.
In the back of their head, really.
So Pokemon's a very interesting one, because I have similar feelings to you in that I like a lot of the old ones, like
Yeah.
Fire Red classic, Emerald
Yeah,
classic. Yeah,
man, beautiful game. Yeah,
I
I
really
we
enjoyed
literally
Diamond.
grew up with
Mhm.
them. I
Mm.
remember being in the back with the light on the
Yeah.
shining on the Game Boy. Uh,
Yeah, the
yeah,
SP was so good for that because it had the light button.
yeah, the light
So
one.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
loved it.
but okay. So do you not like any Pokemon game on the Switch? I just want to
It's
know.
not like I didn't like them, but they need to do a lot more now because their
Okay.
audience grew up. Like
Yeah.
yes, it's for kids, but it's for everybody.
Hmm.
So
That's
the
fair.
audience grew up, and I like a lot more what they're doing. Bandai is doing with the Digimon franchise. You know,
Mm.
I don't know if you played the one that got released on PS4, but also on the Vita and on Switch. The Sabes Luz series is I mean, I like them, and I mean, Pokemon could do a lot more with their franchise. They could do a not really an adult game, but something for young adult, maybe
Mm.
something a little more interesting. They have the money to do it, clearly,
Yeah, 100%.
for sure, 100%. They can come out and say no, we don't have the money, so they
Hmm.
need to do more. Now I mean, with the Switch one, it wasn't really a good excuse, but it's not that powerful. But it is with the Switch 2, they have
Mm.
no excuse. They need to come out with something good. It's not a
For
matter
sure.
of graphics. They could do something 2D, 2.5D, something like that. But they
Hmm.
need to come out with a good game for sure. I mean, playing it on. I mean, I recently played again like Soul Silver, and it's a super, 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 super good game. You
Yeah.
know, and I
Yeah.
mean, why they can make good game anymore? Why they can make good Pokemon game? I mean, there,
It's
there
a
must be a
very good
reason.
question. Yeah, it's a very good question. So if we talk about other games that you've spoken about, like Last of Us
Mhm.
2, why did you go for 2 instead of 1? I want to know.
Because the second one is a much riskier game. Because can
Mm.
we can we go with spoiler? I mean, yes, because I mean it's not like a
The
secret
game came out
anymore.
5 years ago. You can spoil.
Yeah, I mean, and there is also a really bad TV series, so I mean, everybody or know about it.
Exactly.
So, killing Joel for me was super smart because in terms of writing, you have this character that probably said a lot in the first one, and you have Ellie, and you're killing him. Then you hate the bad the enemy, what
Abby.
you think is the enemy, no? What? No, no, but I
Mm-mm.
mean, I said the enemy. because I didn't want to say Abby, but the enemy up until the
Yeah.
first half of the game, and then you became the enemy, and you see that she has a life. She's a human being too, and you think about revenge. What is it bringing to you? And I feel like I really connected to it. While the first one was an easier game to love for sure, and far less people have bad things to say about the first one because it's easier to love, it's easier to like. But the second one, it was there was a lot more to the game. It was a
Mm.
lot more because I remember the first time when I played, and I started playing as Abby, and I was like, yeah, this is probably like 1 hour thing, and then I will be Ellie again. But it kept going, and I kept like wondering when this is stopping, and kept going, kept going, kept going, and then I understood that it was the story from every side. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really enjoyed it because at the end, the enemy, it's really early and what early became. Because rage consumed her. So you there is a lot of to think about the story. So this is probably why a lot of people didn't like it because people don't really like to think about things. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, this is why the second one and not the first one. Yeah.
That's very interesting because I agree with you. I actually prefer 2 to 1, and broadly speaking, my reasoning is the same as yours. I think one is by far the less controversial game,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I do think 2 is braver. I think 2 does more and tells a much richer story with everyone being 3D. And in pro wrestling, we call it a double turn when the good guy becomes a bad guy and the bad guy
Yeah.
becomes a good guy at the same time.
Mhm.
And that happens towards like the middle to late part of the game where, like you said, you take control of the opposite character. And it's not just you're a rage filled person and you're just, hitting everyone with golf clubs. You actually understand their point of view as a human being, their
Yep.
likes, their dislikes, their fears, what gets them happy, what they love, who they love. It's very much a successful job of getting you to understand this person that at one point, I'm sure if you played through 1 and got to that point in 2, you hated and wanted nothing more than to see them dead. And at the end of the game, you actually feel a bit of sympathy. You feel sorry
Mhm.
for this
Yeah.
person because you understand their journey, and even them and their relationship with Lev. I think there's a lot of parallels with the first game. There's a lot of fluidity to all the main cast,
Yeah.
and I think they did a very successful job with it.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with it. Totally agree with it. I don't like what they did with the series, like at all. Because
Fair.
for me, I mean, it mean nothing. But for me, they didn't really understood the game. They didn't really understood early. They didn't really even try to understand what the game was about. For me, I mean, I can be 100% wrong, but this the feeling what I got from the series, because the first one was okay. I mean, I feel like they did a good job, but with the second one, that as we said, it's another game title, more controversial. It's I don't know I didn't like it. Didn't like
I mean, first of all, I don't think you can be wrong about your subjective opinion. I think
it.
it's just an
True,
opinion.
you're right.
So I think it's very valid. I would say that um personally I wasn't very interested in the series because I played through the games, and I feel like that is the optimal way to tell that story. I think video games
100%.
are the pinnacle of entertainment,
Yeah,
and people
I
just need to
agree with
get with
you.
the times.
Mhm.
But I get it. It's another way to make money. Fine, cool. I like series 1. I didn't prefer it to the games because it's like this is a watered down version of this story
Mhm.
that you did really well, but it was good. It followed the canon very well. I haven't watched series 2, but I have someone at work who is as much of a gamer as me, and she was like, I hate series 2. You need to watch it so we can hate it together. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
I wish I had the time for that. But just hearing her vocalize why she hates the series, I know I'd hate it too. Because if it diverges from an already good way of telling the story, I already hate it. And this
Yes.
is a problem that I have with the upcoming God of War series coming to Amazon Prime,
So,
because the showrunner.
what about God of War? Because let's say 6 games that I really like, and God of War is there.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention. Yeah, God of War.
That is, I mean, God of War is my favorite franchise when it comes to video
The new
games of
one,
all time.
the new one. The old one is
The
good,
entire
but
thing.
the new one, I
Oh, for
don't know.
you, yeah, fair, fair, fair. No,
New
that's
one are better.
completely fair. I completely get that opinion, and um, that is also very valid. But yeah, I will not. Hey, maybe I'll find time to do it. Maybe I'll find time to watch series 2 so I can dislike it. But the God of War showrunner has gone on record to say, I don't play the
Mhm.
games. I don't like. I don't play
This
video
is
games.
like super wrong. Not, and it's going bad. It's probably going bad because
I have no, yeah, I don't have very low expectations, because for me, I think if you don't play the video games, or you don't like or understand the video games,
it
I
shouldn't
think you're
make
missing the point.
serious. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're
absolutely.
missing the point. I
Shouldn't
think
do it.
you should be an executive consultant. You should have ideas, because of course shooting a show or a film is kind of different to a video game, but they did shoot games like video God of War and Last of Us in that ilk of it
Yes.
being a TV show. So you you know, it's not too dissimilar in the first
Yeah.
place. So that worries me. I didn't want to take the shine off of Last of Us, because that's a game that you did say for your top 5. But hopefully people watching this, whether it's live or on demand after the fact, will be able to add Altheia, the Wrath of Aferi, to their top 5 list. And I've just put the link in the chat. Make sure you click that. Um, maybe after this video, this episode's done, and wishlist that on Steam. And it will also be out on GOG.com on the 21st of August. So that's like 3 weeks. You don't have a lot of
Yes.
time.
Yeah. Don't remember it. Don't remember to me. Just 3 weeks. I try to forget about it, but yes, just 3 weeks.
You can't forget it's your birth week.
Yeah, I know, but I try to forget that there are just 3 weeks left to
Just
work
3
on it.
weeks. It
Yeah.
is almost go time. So let's go to you. We'll go away from your favorite video games and get into you as
Mhm.
the person. When did you get that light bulb moment from playing video games to going, oh, I could make this?
So, I mean, me and my brother, we always work together, like always. We came from the, let's say, publishing and book comic industry. We have this kind of background. I mean, everything we did got canceled. So there is really nothing that we can be proud of. But we came from this, we have this background. And at least in Italy, the comic book and the um, book industry is really old people. Let's say just old people. You know, in Italy, it's just old people, like just old people. But if you take the book industry, it's like really something that we didn't like, and we've been gamer like since we were like 7, 6, something like that. So we were like, let's give it a shot. We started making some small iOS game like when we were super young. Then we did some work for Hire. Then we started making our own games. We released a game like back in 2017. It was a nightmare. And then we said like, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a try again. Because we and I think it's clear there is a lot to do in a game, and we can do it by being just the two of us. So it's not like we are ruining anybody else's life. So we said, let's give it a try again. And we came up with Altheia. There was like a couple of iterations before it, because there was a super old version of Altheia that was something completely different, because we didn't really want to make a Zelda like, because there is a lot to do, or a lot of system, a lot of things that can break, and you know we are working on QA now, so there are a lot of things that can break. but there are a lot of things. A lot of people try to avoid making a third-person action adventure game, and there is a reason, you know. But
Yeah.
it was something we wanted to make, and we wanted to do. Look like we made it. Look like we at least look like we made it. So, you know, uh, this is the thing. This is the story. I mean, from comic book industry to video game industry, they are similar. And the writer of the duo. So it's me that had the story to tell. My brother just dumb enough to follow me. Just stupid enough to follow me. So he decided to follow me, and here we are.
I think it's really wholesome and it's very cool to be able to say we have a family run business and we make video
Oh yeah,
games.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. Nice. Working with your brother is not easy because it's always harder to work with other people. It's harder maybe to work with someone that you see all day, you grew up
Yeah.
with, but it's also easier to work with him because we grew up together. We played the same game together. You know, I mean, when we lived together, but all for the first, even more of our life, we everything we played together. Even I'm a scary cat, but I love good horror games.
Yeah.
So all the Siren, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, we always play together because I'm super. I'm a scary cat, really. I'm a scary cat. So yes, we played everything together. So we have like this connected mind. So for example, we don't have like concept art or anything because we just go straight on to production, to do the animation, to do the mesh, to do the everything, building the. I just came up with the name and a brief description, and it just make what I have in mind, which is a lot of time saved. So it's yes, it's awesome and it's cool. I like to work with him for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. I think it's an interesting one being able to work with family. I think it accentuates all of the positives and the
Yep.
negatives. Just
Absolutely.
you're almost the same person. You're almost a hive mind because you've spent so
Hmm.
much time around each other. You know each other's likes and dislikes, and I feel like there's some things that you can not even say, and your brother will get it, and vice
Yeah.
versa. And then, I mean, in other cases, you two are very distinct personalities, and you have your own personal preferences.
Sure.
And those disagreements, I can imagine, can get very honest very quickly. So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess,
Immediately. No, there are no
yeah,
filters. No filters whatsoever.
yeah. You don't have to worry about that because, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fire like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you still have to, look at each other at the end of the day. So I think that sounds like a very interesting conundrum that you've been able to solve because you've delivered. You're literally just about to deliver. You're on the final.
Just about.
Well, in football we'd call it Fergie time. We're just about ready to blow the final whistle and see the fruition of your work released. Um, let's talk about some of the problems that you encountered, especially in the comic book industry, like you mentioned. Um, I can imagine, ageism and racism played a part in some of the uh, obstacles that you had to overcome. Um, were there any difficulties that you encountered, maybe in the comic book life or in the video game life, even?
Well, it's not really like I mean, racism in here in Italy is a strange beast,
Mhm.
because I mean I grew up in a small. I still live in a small town in Italy, and I've been for like 80% of my life, 70% of my life, the only black person like I don't know,
Mm.
like 40 kilometers, something like that, you know. So I'm like half Italian and half from Somalia, because my mom from Somalia and my father was like from here, from where I live, from Italy. And I didn't really experience like like a lot of racism in my first part of life, but it's something that strangely, as time passed, I started to see a lot more, like a lot more racism as I grew up, which is strange because time passed. You move
Mm,
from the 90s to the 2000 to the 2025, and you think like you feel like it shouldn't be an issue anymore, but it's the opposite, the complete opposite. I feel there is, and I meet a lot of more racist now, a lot of more racist people, racist comments, and things like that now, compared to when I was younger. I mean, I experienced like a lot of racism even when I was younger, but it was different. I feel like there is more actual hate now compared
mm,
to before when it was like maybe just ignorance, you know.
right. Yeah.
So it's strange. It's super, super strange, because as, as I said, as time passes, you expect people to get smarter, people to be more accepting, of other people, and it's become really the complete opposite, because as I said, sure, I experienced a lot of racing when I was younger, but like the last, 10 to 15 years are super strange, for me.
Mm,
Because if I, again, I know I said it several times, but again, if I look back, I see racism, but it's different. If I look back at the last 10 to 15 years, like I see the ugly racism. I mean, it's
right.
never good. Never good. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
okay. Not okay.
Yeah.
Never. But the new one is even worse. You know,
I get.
it's strange. In work life, I didn't really experience like a lot of racism, because I we always work for ourselves. I always been self-employed, so maybe it was harder to be considered like as smart as other, maybe,
Mm,
or of be of worth like others, but not really this big of. I mean, I'm always the only black guy in the room. This is sure, like sure, always. But not really. It's more on the life side because on the let's say worker side, if their racism or even if they think have some bad thoughts about you, they're at least smart enough to not show it to you, to not actually
yeah.
tell it to you. So it's it's never been an actual problem. Maybe I don't know. It's harder to get opportunity because you know less people, you have less connection, things like that. This is for sure. But not really an issue because I'm like I managed to find the connection I found because I bother everyone. I bother everybody all the time, several times a day, several times a week, until they answer me. So this is newsletter. But on the I mean, personal life side, it's getting worse, and it's
Mm.
strange. Again, it's strange.
I do hear that because, like you said, with time that passes, you expect people to be more tolerant and have more understanding and knowledge, especially with the way the internet has opened up so many avenues. So, we can connect, for example, someone from Italy can connect with someone in the UK, and, borders break down digitally. But yeah, it does seem like there is a rise in that kind of like right wing ideology
Yeah,
and the hate speech. I think there are, I think people who are of a certain age and background, having achieved success somewhat recently, has empowered people to feel a certain type of way,
yeah,
and enabled them to feel like they can spread hate speech, and especially online when there's a layer of anonymity and not really accountability, because like you said, in the workplace, people check themselves. People are a bit
Yeah.
smarter about how they deliver like stuff like that. Whereas online, people don't really feel that kind of shame, and people are just colder to people online. Like it's easier. Face to face is warmer. Phone call is less warm, but still kind of warm, and then text is just completely cold. So
Yeah.
you do get a lot of those blasé comments made, and people don't really understand the effects of what they're saying. But if we move from like obstacles that you have faced on more of a discriminatory level, what obstacles have you encountered when building the game? You mentioned bugs when it comes to QA,
Yeah.
which is something I'm sure every video game
Yeah.
has
For
come
sure.
through. But what other issues have you encountered specifically in the development of Althea?
I mean, it's just making it work because you. I mean, I know it's like saying everything, but it's different because making it work. Because if you play a game and you manage to get, to just experience it without thinking about what you're doing, you know, it, it means that the game is working, you know. So I feel like the hardest part was making it work in a way that you were not thinking that you were playing. I don't know if
Okay.
it makes sense to anybody. Probably not, but yes, this is probably was the hardest part because uh, games are so beautiful because there is everything. There is music, there is story, there is interaction. You do things. You live in the story. You actually live in the story. You are not just experiencing it like in a movie or in a book. It's different, and this is why it's so hard to make a game because you need to take everything. You are making a book, you're making a movie, and all together, and it's not just that they need to work in a story-wise sense, story-wise, but they need to work in an interaction way, so that the player can interact with the world that you're making you made, and it doesn't need to be boring, doesn't it need to work, so actually I know it can sound stupid, but actually making the game a game that is funny is the hardest part, because you can make a game, it can be boring, super boring, or can reach people because you are making things too hard, or maybe you are telling a story in a way that is hard to grasp, to understand, so connecting all the dots is the hard part because you can be a great programmer, you can be a great artist, but you can be you need to be good at connecting all the dots, and this is why making game is super hard, why making game is super cool, and I love making game because if it was easy, wasn't the good a thing, the bigger thing,
Yeah.
and being so hard is why I love it so much, even
Yeah.
crunching is wrong and whatever, but even crunching, if you need to do it, because just the two of us, if we decide to do it, so even if it's crunching, if it's for the game, I feel like, I mean, if it's a big company tell you to crunch, it's super bad. No one should be crunch. But if you being just the two of us, spending the whole night working together and fixing things or doing things or thinking about things, I feel like it's good. There are good memories, still good memories, even if you are super tired and you are going to bed at 4 a.m., waking up at 6 a.m. is
Ooh,
still good, still good, still good memories. The are all going to be good memories at the end. So
yeah. I'm very glad to hear that. I think it's important that you found your passion and you're following through on it, because I think only a job that you could love is something that you'd go to sleep at 4 a.m. and wake up 6 a.m. for, or something that's
yeah,
paying you very well. So I'm very glad to see that I think you have found your calling in the video game studio. I compare video games or the I guess a studio or the industry to like a kitchen or a restaurant where you
Yeah.
have obviously your consumers who are buying the food and tasting and reviewing all of that stuff, and then you have your head chef, obviously your director, and then you have sous chefs, and you have people prepping, and you have porters, you have waiters. It's a very big operation, and the fact that you've gotten essentially a two people restaurant, I think is
Yeah.
very commendable in its own fact. So again, just two people working on a video game and it looks this pretty, I think is incredible in its own right. Let's talk about that game, because when I saw the first trailer for it, it reminded me of Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Was there any inspiration taken from any other games, or did you pull from other mediums? Where did the idea for Althea come from?
So for sure the main inspiration comes from the Zelda series, for sure. The mainly Twilight Princess and mainly Twilight Princess. Then there is a lot of Studio Ghibli,
Mm,
like a lot. Princess Mononoke, probably the look of
yes.
it, there is
Yeah.
like a lot of it in the game. There is a lot of it, and but also anime in general because we are super anime fan, super huge. The both of us, we grew up with anime and video games. So there is a lot of anime in anime lore in the and little bits and pieces here and there. There are you know throwbacks to some anime we grew up with. So we literally, and this is the same thing for everything we make. So we took all of our experience, all the things that we like, and we crammed everything together and tried to make something. Because the for example, the 3D Zelda is something that is not really, I don't know, like there is a Souls like every week, there is a Souls like coming out every week. There is a Hollow Knight clone coming out like every day, probably, but there are that many Zelda like. I know why now. I know why now. I know why there aren't that many, but we felt like maybe people miss the old Zelda with dungeons and things to do because the new one I like. I mean, Breath of the Wild is probably one of my favorite game ever, and but playing it, I kind of miss all the dungeon and things to do
Yeah.
that there are in the old Zelda. So and I hope the next Zelda is going to be some kind of a throwback to the old one. I don't think so because the Breath of the Wild formula is working too well for them.
Mm,
But I still hope for it, or we will keep making Zelda like style Zelda like game if Nintendo doesn't want to make them. So yes, we took everything we liked and came together, and Altheia came out like naturally without even thinking about it, because
yeah.
our thinking process, like I came out with a story, then I think about the gameplay that could have, and my brother say your gameplay sucked, let's do something different, and we fight each other a couple of times, then we come out with something that we can make. Usually this is the process. Yes.
That's very cool, and I like that it's collaborative. I do like, obviously as the CEO you get final say, but I do like there is almost a
Not
always an
really. I mean,
open. Okay.
we both, finance say because I mean, we are brother. We grew up together. We
Mm,
love each other because even if we love each other. And on a
yes.
business side, yes, I have the final say because my brother is not really business oriented. On a
Mm,
business side, I have the final, but on the creative side, we are like totally on the same level. So
equals. Mm,
until we agree on something,
okay.
is not going to be made. So
That's
we need
cool.
to agree. We need to agree 100% on something. Yes,
I
even
respect
if you
that. I think
write
that's cool.
if you write a plot, a story, or something,
Mm.
he needs to agree on it. He needs to agree on it. So if
I
he
mean, that
doesn't like
makes sense.
something, I need to change it in a way that we are both satisfied. Yeah,
Fair, fair. I mean, I think that is the best way to go about it. So that's
yeah,
good. Like, um, yeah, I do see the Princess Mononoke references
yeah,
or
for
the
sure.
inspiration.
You can't
Um,
unseen it.
yeah, yeah. um, so give people a little bit of a synopsis of to what the game is about. How much of the game can you tell us without spoiling anything, of course? But what type of game is it? What is the blurb, if you will, like a snapshot of the story of Althea?
Okay, so things I can say without spoiling it, like nothing, but I will give it a try. I give it a shot. I give it a shot. So it's a third-person action adventure game, as I said, and the story is about grief, basically. And Lily, the main character, Sadie, the other main character, because they are both main characters. And even the bad guy is a main character, but I'm not going to say anything about him because it would be a spoiler. But they both lost someone, and they find each other in I mean, they find together without wanting to be together, and they need to go to this journey, to this adventure without they are not even friends at the beginning, and they became slowly they slowly became friends as they gain gone. So it's a story about both friendship and grief. Let's say I don't want to spoil too much because there are a lot of things to that I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. So let's say it's both a good adventure and a good action game, but with a story that say a lot of things, even if not directly without shouting to your face, but subtle. But it say a lot of things. I wanted to make something. I didn't manage. I'm sure I didn't manage to do it. But I wanted to do something like Evangelion, that is there are big robot punching, doing crazy things. But the story is super deep and super personal. The real story is super deep and super personal. So I wanted to do something like that, something that is super deep and super personal, but also there is action and stupid things, things that the looks on could be silly.
Mm. I
So
think,
this is
yeah, it's very ambitious.
yeah,
Like you said before, to deliver something that looks cool, but then also has that fun factor that video games not so much is missing. But I do feel like because of the success of video games, a lot of big companies and shareholders have tried to monetize video games in a way that makes it very corporate and very business
yeah,
like.
mhm,
We've seen it in sports as well, and in general it's less fun and it's very much robotic in terms of that's successful, do that, they're following
yeah,
algorithms and everything. So yeah, to deliver something that has that fun factor but also has meaning behind it, has a story, and like you said, the story linked to the gameplay, I think that's where you get the best games, like your Last of Us, like your God
yeah,
of Wars, like your Zeldas. So I'm very excited to get hands on with this game in just about 3 weeks.
yeah.
um
Again, 2 weeks. You keep remembering.
it's so close. It's so
Yeah,
close.
too close, too close, too close.
I asked you about obstacles and difficulties you face. What are a few things that you're very proud of yourself, of your brother, of the game in general? What are some things that you are proud of over the journey of this game's development?
Oh, again, this will look stupid, but the fact that the game is coming out is like a lot. It's actually coming out. So, this is a lot. And I'm also proud of, I mean, all the little systems that I managed to put in the game, because I mean, the game is made with Unity, and we almost didn't use any third party asset. We did everything from scratch. So this is something that I'm super proud of. Even the the streaming system, the camera collision system, the character controller, everything is being done by scratch. So this is something I'm proud of, something that no one will ever acknowledge, no, because nobody cares about it. But the fact that nobody cares about it, no one will notice, is the good thing, because it means that you did things in the right way, because
Yeah.
if nobody notices it, it means that it's working. So I hope nobody notices it and doesn't feel like, oh, this guy, I hate them. I hope so.
Yeah, I think that's very cool. And there are quite a lot of games that will just use a template and use AI even to
Yep.
generate the development of the game, which that's a different conversation. But I think it is it is a bragging right. It is a badge of honor to be able to say that you built the entire game from scratch, and it isn't something that consumers would notice. So
Yeah.
I do think that almost unnoticeable trait is something to be proud of. And yeah, like being able to say the video game is coming out is, is the whole reason why you do it, right? So I don't think that's very stupid at all. I think it's very valid. It's like you go into uni and then being like the final exam or the dissertation. That's the final hurdle, right? It's the finish line. So you are
Mhm.
about to cross over the finish line right now. And I feel like other people that would be proud of your game crossing that finish line are Black voices in gaming, which is how I came across you in the first place. How did that collaboration come to be? Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? Because very proud of the people who are behind that platform.
So, as I told you, I mean, I started with no connection in the industry because I'm not coming from this industry. So my style, my is just to bother everybody, So I find someone in the industry, and I start to like poke him like every single day, So I found them. I I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember because it was like during COVID, probably, or
Mm.
something. No, maybe before COVID, probably. I don't really remember, but yes, I started poking them because what they do is interesting. So I just wanted to see if there was something for me, a place for me, someone, a way to show what I'm doing, what I do. So it started like that. Me bothering people, me going on LinkedIn, on I don't know, on Google, on something, Googling, and starting to bother people. A lot of people probably hate me, but seems like it's kind of working because a lot of people answer me. So yeah, and I will keep bothering everybody all the time.
I think it's one of those the dirty jobs that you have to do, especially when it's all on you. It's your responsibility. You're the boss. You're the you know. I think it is one of those things that you have to do. You kind of have to be persistent. You have to be able to. Okay, they didn't reply. I'm gonna go again. Like you
Yeah,
have to be
like 10
able
times,
to take
100 times. Yeah,
rejection, exactly, rejection or non-response, and be able to be like, no, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna let
yeah,
that
yeah.
stop me. I'm gonna keep going. That persistence has gotten you to where you are. So I think that's a very good thing, something to, like you said, keep doing. It's something that I've learned. It's something I'm continuing to do. And I think that's the difference between I guess a leader and a follower. I think being able to go off nothing and find something is the true sign of leadership. And when we talk about leadership, I want to know what's next after Althea. I think you made reference to it. There's going to be a future game. Let's hope so.
Let's hope
How
so.
much?
Yeah, let's say hope. Yeah.
How much can you share about the next potential game?
Something close to nothing, but yes, there's going to be an S game. We are currently working on, let's call it pre-production, because as I said, our creative process is a lot of like playing tennis. So
Mm,
we started to play tennis like a few months ago because I had an idea. I don't remember. I can't recall when I had the idea, but I don't know. I probably was playing something or watching a movie. It's always like that. We are not thinking about. have an idea and you come up with an idea, you know. So this idea, luckily, my brother said yes, because like every other idea for something else, for a new game, was like rejected. So he liked this one. So yeah, I'm working. We already kind of have the plot and the story. We already have the gameplay. What is going to be the gameplay? We are
Nice.
we are taking. I'm not going to say anything, but we're taking what's good with what's good about Altheia and cramming it up, you know, making it better, making it larger. But we are not going like over scope. It's not like going to be a super big open world game, something like that. No, it's going to be a game probably small, even smaller than Altheia, probably. I don't know, but yes, we got the story, which is cool. I really like it. We got the character, and I'm now trying to, let's say, put everything together to make something that can have make sense, you know, and not be rejected by my brother. Uh, so yes, we are in this super early stage, but once we release Altheia, there will be some month of, I don't know, working on the console version and fixing all the bugs that people are going to find. So releasing new updates, but then we can start to actually work on the next game. And again, you feel like, I mean, we for all the time we work on Altea, we were like, we once we release it, we will like take like 3 months of nothing and just rest. And but no, we already have the idea for our next game. Once you have the idea, you can help but working on it, you know. So we're working on it. Let's hope for the best for Altea, and let's hope for the best that we will be able to make another game, because it's like that, you know. You work on a game and you just hope it make enough to allow you to do another game, you know,
Yeah,
because
100%.
nothing is granted. So
That's true. But I think your persistence will be a very big factor in making the future successful and
sure.
bright for yourself and for MarsLit Games. So I'd like to wish you all the best with the release of Althea
Thank
coming out
you.
very, very soon. I'm sure it's going to
Yeah,
be a
wish
hit.
list, wish list,
Yeah.
wish list.
Tell the people how they can support you and your game.
As I said, wish list the game. Follow us on Twitter, MaxFit Games, and play the game. Leave a good review, even if you don't like it. Leave a good review. Um, Basically, that's all. Again, please wish list the game. It's really helping. You have no idea how much of a help it is. And nothing. Thank you. If you like the game, let, hit me with an email. If you didn't like it, hit me with an email and tell me why. Be nice if you can, but thank you.
Of course, and there we go. We've got the link for MarsLit Games. Whether you are watching this live on YouTube right now, on demand, or on Spotify, you can check out the link on screen. If you are listening to this on Apple or any other platform, it's MarsLit_games on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Althea, the Wrath of Aferi, which will be in the description. You can wishlist or just buy when the game comes out on the 21st
First,
of August. And make sure to wish Andrea a happy birthday as well, because on the 24th, that is his big day. And that's all we want, right? We want Andrea to wake up and have
yeah,
amazing amount of
for
sales,
sure.
good reviews, thumbs ups. Um, and I want to say thank you once again for coming on, for giving us the time, especially so close to release date. Things must be so hectic
Yeah,
for
I
your
have no
studio.
idea.
But um I wish you could take some time off after the release of the game, but I know how it is. You've got a ton of promo to do, and then like you said, bugs and
Yeah,
fixes and updates. So, but I do hope that you and your brother are able to find some time off to take a well-deserved break. And While I'm here, I want to promote something that maybe you who is watching and or listening can bring your friends to. But first, if you're watching live, hit that thumbs up because that helps us out a lot in terms of discoverability. It tells YouTube that you like the content. And the final boss of online content is the YouTube algorithm, as everyone knows. So please help us defeat it by liking this, leaving a comment, whether it's in the live chat or on the comment section. And why don't you come through on the 7th of August to Streamcast Club? We are doing monthly game nights on the first Thursday. On the first Thursday of each month, we are holding a games night from 7 p.m. BST. So make sure you bring yourself and your friends to Zombie Games Cafe in Cricklewood. There are a ton of modern games on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. There are classic games on arcade sticks and PS2s, Wii's, Dreamcast, GameCubes, and of course board games, card games like Jenga and poker as well. So come through, bring your friends, bring your rivals, bring your best and or worst self, and we'll bring the best vibes. Let's take that off. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Streamcast _ Streamcast on Blue Sky. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, whether that be Apple, Spotify, or another platform, and subscribe right here because for every 6 viewers we get, 5 of you are not subscribed. What's going on? Well, firstly, that's a good thing because it means we're reaching a new audience, but we need to make that conversion because it helps us grow and helps us be able to give back more. Check out our Instagram for pictures from our last games night. If you want us to do more cool things, whether it's online or offline, please, you have to join us and subscribe to the Streamcast. It costs you absolutely nothing. And we would love to grow our community and hit 600 subs on the road to 1,000. And you can find the link to the Streamcast Club right here on our website, thestreamcast.co.uk, which is new and improved. But once again, I want to thank Andrea for coming on. I want to thank you for, of course, I want to thank you for watching and or listening, whether that's live or on demand. Let us know if you have any questions for Andrea. We might be able to get him on to read some comments, to answer some questions. And please enjoy the game on the 21st of August. With all that said and done, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next Streamcast.